Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. On today's video, I am going to go over what do I think about Past Labs in general. What is my take on the brand? What do I feel about the amplifiers that I have owned throughout my time with this hobby? But before I do that, you know the drill. Subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notifications button so you stay informed with all my new and up and coming videos, which, by the way, will continue to be hopefully to your liking. I have noticed lately that you guys enjoy my commentary more than me playing in just straight up videos with components and where there is no talking. So I'm taking notes about how many views my videos are getting and the type of content that you guys seem to be interested in. So without further delay, let's talk about my experience or my time with different Past Labs components. If you guys have followed me, you guys should have seen a lot of different Past Labs amplifiers. So I'm gonna name them in case you are new to the channel and you haven't watched all of my videos. I have owned the Past Labs XS300s, which are the flagship power amplifiers that retail for $85,000. These are 4 chassis amplifiers. The external power supply is external. So each mono is, guys, it's like 300 pounds. It's like 250 to 300 pounds total. A lot of heat, guys, with this amplifier. The XS300 has tremendous power, a lot of clarity, a lot of detail. The typical 3D imaging and liquidity that you get from Class A amplifier is displayed here. It's completely displayed in front of you. One of the things that I remember about this amplifier, and at that time I had the Momentum Dan Agostino M400s, is that this amplifier took forever and ever and ever to hit its stride. It would be one of those amps, guys, that took days to really come to life. I have a similar experience with another brand who does this as well, and that is Sim Audio amplifiers. Sim Audio amplifiers, if you read the manual, they even state within the manual to leave them on and never turn them off, okay? Luckily, Sim Audio amplifiers do not run anywhere near as hot as a Past Labs amplifier. So remember that when you are buying pure Class A amplifiers, heat is definitely a concern. And I will say to you, with the Past Labs XS300, my room got the hottest it ever got. No other amplifier gave me the amount of heat that this amplifier put out. It is, again, 4 chassis, full throttle, just completely lighting up your room with heat. But anyway, so that amplifier was here for quite some time in my room. I did a couple of videos with it. Please look at my previous videos, if you want to hear the amplifiers. I've also owned, and at that point in time, I did not have the room, but I've owned the XS150, which are 60 or 65,000 USD. Same look, 4 chassis, same idea as the bigger brother, the XS300, but now you're getting 150 watts instead of the bigger brother's 300 watts per channel. Still, guys, it is crazy hot how these amplifiers run. There is no escaping, guys, with this kind of amplification. I do not recommend this amplifier for small rooms. My room is approximately, I've said it before, 17 by 22, 8.5, 9 feet tall ceilings. And guys, I had to blast the dedicated AC unit I have here. I had to blast it hard while I was waiting for the amplifiers to hit their stride. Else my room would feel no different than the outside here in Florida, which is extremely hot and humid. So the room would get that hot in here, okay? Those amplifiers do not forgive you. Not to mention, they draw about 1,000 watts from the outlet just being turned on each side. So you're looking at 2,000 watts of power being consumed at all times from these monsters, okay? This is not, again, the amplifier for people who are concerned with the electric bill, who are concerned with the heat. This is not the amplifier for you guys. Neither one of these are. Okay, I've also owned the 160.8s. Great amplifiers as well. 2 chassis instead of 4 chassis. Some people even question, is there really a benefit from going to the 150 XS when you own the 160.8, which are 160 watts Class A, as opposed to 150 of the XS, right? People have questioned that, have asked me all the time, is it worth it? Yes, guys, the XS 150 is indeed the better amplifier, right? But is it going to double the performance? Probably not, guys. It's probably going to give you better bass control than the 160s. It's probably going to give you a lot more grip. Same power in terms of wattage, right? 150 against 160. There's no real difference there. But the way the watts are served to you from the 150 XS is way different than the 160.8. Okay, the 150 XS will serve you those watts different. But I do believe that those of you with the 160.8, in my opinion, have a great amplifier. Would I make the transition into a 150 XS if I own the 160.8? Would I make the change? If I have the room, guys, and the deal is great, sure, why not? I would do it. I definitely would do it because I do believe there is an improvement by doing that. But would I lose sleep over it if I could? No, I really wouldn't. Anyway, I've also owned the 60.8s, which you guys heard here with the Magical M6. Great little amplifiers. Great. I was extremely surprised how good those amplifiers are. Have far more power than the specifications tell you. I don't think they're by any means 60 watts into 8. I think those things are, when I read the review, they benched them at like 150 watts into 8. So they have far more power. I've also owned the 350.8. I've also owned the 600.8s. Great amplifiers, but those are the Class AB design, different tonality. They don't have the purity of the Class A design from Nelson Pass. They do have better control, I would say, over the lower frequencies, but they don't give you this purity that the Class A design Pass Labs have. In case you're wondering, how do I know which one is Class A, pure Class A, and how do I know which one is not? It's simple, guys. When you look at the writing and you look at the model number of the Pass Lab amplifier, okay? So if you look at something that says XA 60.8, that A tells you this is 100% Class A. If it just says X 350.8, there's no A. That means it's not pure Class A, although it is dialed in to give you the first 40 watts into Class A or 50 watts in Class A, right? That's how they usually are designed. The rest of it is Class AB. So if the X is followed by an A, that tells you it is 100% a Class A design, okay? If it doesn't have an A, that means it is, the beginning watts have Class A, but it is primarily a Class AB design, okay? Yeah, so I have owned a lot of Pass Labs amplifiers, and I am going to go right now and I'm going to start talking about the pros of owning Pass Labs gear. Guys, and I'm going to start right out of the gate. I'm going to begin by telling you Pass Labs is one of the best American companies to do business with. This is a company, guys, that even when you have no warranty remaining on your product, if you have any sort of failure and you call them up and you tell them, my amplifier wasn't turned on, and you tell them I have a Pass Labs that's 7 years old. Guys, I have seen it. They are willing to fix components out of warranty for free. All you have to do is ship them the product and they ship it back to you. Think about that for a minute. Think about how amazing that is to have a product that has that kind of support, that you have that kind of feeling of knowing that you have someone that you can call in case you have an issue and you're never going to be taken to the cleaners for repairs, as I have seen with other brands, which I am not even going to tell you what brands those are. This brand, Pass Labs, in my opinion, it should be the standard that many other companies should follow. When it comes to customer service, I have never seen a better company than Pass Labs. They remind me a lot of Boulder, but I think Pass Labs just does it a little bit better. Past Labs doesn't care if it doesn't have any warranty and they feel that that failure took place outside of the warranty, but they feel like that should have never happened. Our product should have never failed that way. Send it in to us. We'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. That's what they do. I've heard stories, for instance, that somebody bought, as an example, a Past Labs XS preamplifier. This is a true story. Past Labs XS preamplifier, Past Labs XS phono stage, right? And he placed them brand new, placed them next to each other, turned them on, everything worked. But the light, the standby light on one unit was dimmer than the other. But everything was functioning. So a call was placed to Past Labs. Hey, you know, I just wanted to tell you the product works well. There's nothing wrong with it. But I noticed that when I put it on standby, one of the units, the LED is a lot more, it's just dimmer than the other piece. Just wanted to call that out. And you know what Past Labs did? Send us back the unit. We'll replace it. Think about that, guys. Who does that? I mean, that's the kind of level of, that's the kind of service and support that Past Labs gives you. Most manufacturers will tell you, oh, you know what? Okay, yeah, do this, do that. You know what? Open up the unit, take out the LED, we'll send you another LED and replace it. Past Labs doesn't work that way. I mean, it is the poster child when it comes to customer service. So that's one pro. Another thing is most Past Labs, if probably a lot of their products are built bulletproof. Very rarely do you have failures with Past Labs products. I have heard of situations where products fail multiple times, and that happens with any product. But Past Labs is built, in my opinion, to strict standards. They're not very complicated designs, as you know. They don't do a lot of bells and whistles, right? It's pretty, I wouldn't say vanilla, but it's a pretty simplistic design and approach, right? So I think this is what leads to very few failures with their design. You hardly hear of a Past Labs product going in and out constantly for repairs. That's just not what they want to do. They want to create a product that performs for a long time before it has to come back to get recapped, before it has to come back to get any sort of repair. So if you buy anything Past Labs, you will never have to worry about it breaking. You can leave those things on, like I did, for days or weeks. And unless, of course, you care about the heat and the power consumption, they don't break, guys. Past Labs is built, it reminds me a lot of a Japanese quality control. Does that make sense? It really is well-built product. So for those of you who are contemplating Past Labs and you're afraid of spending the money that they cost and what their asking price is, just know you're buying something extremely reliable, damn near bulletproof. Another pro of the Past Labs product is the fact that they are not necessarily products that require a lot of cabling, although they do improve with better cables. They tend to be products where you can buy an expensive power cord and it will make a difference, like anything else, right? But they don't require that out of the gate. When you have a Past Labs amplifier, a preamplifier, and you plug, it's literally plug and play. That's what I'm trying to say. It really sounds good. It really gives you a lot of this romantic, tube-like personality that a lot of you guys enjoy. A lot of you guys really would welcome in your system when you're trying to just get the most musicality in your room or your home or your living room without having to work around the entire system by buying a tube DAC or tube preamplifier or cables that are musical. If what you're trying to do is literally just buy two components literally and drop them in and knowing that they're going to perform for you day in, day out, if that's what you want, I think the Past Labs amplifiers or preamplifiers are really a definite fit. I mean, 100% fit for you. Sonically speaking, Past Labs amplifiers are notorious for sounding like tubes. You guys know this. That's their thing. That's what Nelson Pass has been trying to chase for decades, is to make their amplifiers and obviously their preamplifiers sound as tubey as possible. They want to give you the sound of tubes without dealing with the drama associated with tubes and replacing tubes and anything like that. And I think they definitely do that really well. So if you're a person that wants to get that tube signature sound, look into Past Labs. I think they really get you close to that. And the final pro with Past Labs, I do believe Past Labs is certainly some of the best bang for the buck that you can definitely get, especially when you look at the used market. It's incredible the deals you can have, that you can get. I think bang for the buck is a lot here. Again, because of all the reasons that I have already mentioned, the reliability, the support you get, just the quality control, the way the product feels. I believe bang for the buck is really, really huge with Past Labs products. Okay, so now you've heard my pros, and we are about to get started with the cons. You ready? Here we go. The cons of Past Labs.